If you're considering bringing or filing a personal injury claim, you might be wondering what kind of evidence you need to prove your case. Hi, my name is Zach Anderson, I'm co-owner of 217 Law and an injury lawyer in Central Illinois. In this video, I want to explain some of the types of evidence that I see that's often important in personal injury cases. So in most personal injury cases, the injured party must prove that another person or company was negligent and that the negligence was a cause of the injury that the injured person suffered. Evidence is what helps establish how the incident or accident happened, and evidence is also what helps establish the damages that resulted as a result of the underlying incident or accident. One of the most important categories of evidence in any personal injury case is medical documentation. It includes medical records, treatment notes, uh, radiology and imaging, and medical bills, which help show the nature of the injury and the care that was required to treat that injury. Accident-related evidence can also be very crucial. For example, in a car accident, police report is very important. Any incident reports or witness reports can be very important. Photographs or videos, obviously very important. And then any physical evidence, photographs, for example, of skid marks have been helpful for me in cases before. Really, just anything that can be gathered at the scene can become relevant later, even if it might not seem like an important detail at the time. In some cases, additional evidence can be very important, such as expert opinions or maintenance records. For example, I've had cases where I've had to retain expert witnesses for liability. Sometimes in construction accident cases, I will retain safety experts who typically opine or can identify, I guess, OSHA violations and other safety violations that may have caused my client's injuries. In other cases, I've had to hire medical experts. For example, if there's a dispute between a treating physician and a doctor that's being paid by the other side, sometimes I'll hire another expert to help solidify medical causation or something like that. Evidence can become much harder to obtain as time passes. This is especially so when it comes to witnesses to an incident. I've had cases before where a witness gets deposed, their testimony is taken couple of years after a crash happens. And while we'd all like to assume that witnesses to a crash remember what they saw, it's at the end of the day, whatever they saw is not going to be the most important event in their life. And so, their memories may, morph together. They might, even if they have no reason to lie or be untruthful, they might say things that are just completely wrong. And again, it's just how our minds work. And so it's often very important to begin gathering evidence and any sort of documentation as soon as possible after an injury occurs, the way it's preserved in its current state. If you are injured because of someone else's negligence, speaking with a good personal injury lawyer will help you understand what evidence might be needed to pursue your claim under Illinois law. And if your injury occurred in Central Illinois and you have any interest in working together, please feel free to reach out. Be happy to consult with you.